almost didn't see you there. My name's Jake. Nice to meet you. You're from Washington Elementary? Well, you're in luck. I was supposed to talk to Washington Elementary today. And I was going to talk to you guys about healthy eating, which is something that I've struggled with for a long time. But before I talk about all that, let me tell you a bit about nursing school and what it's like to be in nursing school. Nursing school is honestly one of the hardest things that I've had to do. It requires a lot of focus, a lot of time, and a lot of energy. But I believe that nursing school provides the right amount of pressure to make people into diamonds of nursing. And it's that diamond that made me want to get into all of it. I had a nurse a long time ago when I was a boy and I got sick, and she was very, very, very mean to me. And it really hurt my feelings. It made me scared to go to the hospital. It made me scared to go deal with anything in a medical setting. But the next time that I ended up in the hospital for being sick as a boy, I had the nicest and most kindest nurse. Anything that I was afraid of or I needed, she would be right there for me. And it was that little moment that I decided I wanted to do that. I wanted to be able to help someone like me, that scared little kid. I wanted to be able to do that same thing for other little kids maybe, and maybe even adults. So that's why I got into nursing school and why I'm trying to become a nurse. I understand what it's like to have those unexpected things happen to you and just how vulnerable you can be in those moments. And sometimes the best thing to be is nice in those moments. And I think a nurse is the perfect person to deliver that kind of niceness in those scary, scary times. I mentioned earlier that I had a hard time making healthy eating choices. And I did for the longest time. But then I got some help from a friend. He should be coming here today, but he isn't here yet. I wonder where he could be. What was that? Did you guys hear that? I better go check it out. Oh my. Hi there. Friendly neighborhood Spider-Man here. I was looking for my pal Jake. Well, since you guys don't know where Jake is, and I don't know where Jake is, I guess I could talk to you guys about healthy eating like I did when he was a kid. Do you guys know anything about healthy eating? You're gonna have to speak up. I was out having a battle with Green Goblin. I think one of his pumpkin grenades came a little bit too close to the ears, so it's still ringing. But that reminds me, I've got something that I'm sure will ring your guys' bells when it comes to nutrition. This right here is my plate. Now you may be wondering, is it specifically Spider-Man's plate or is it a plate for Peter Parker? My plate actually is something that the USDA came up with to help kids like you make healthy eating choices whenever you're looking at your foods. So if you look at this plate right here, it breaks down what your dinner plate should look like at home. And I'm gonna be honest with you, my dinner plate looks a whole lot like that. And look at me! Wow! Wow! Now enough of the gloating. Let's get to the business. So as you can see, I've arranged a lot of foods here that you guys might be pretty familiar with. And I figured I could help you guys by helping you figure out which foods go where on your plate. Let's take vegetables, for instance. Vegetables is our biggest part of our plate. So what foods up here do you guys see that are vegetables? Remember, vegetables are normally green, red, or yellow. Which ones look green, red, or yellow? The French fries? Well, French fries are technically a vegetable, but is that really the best choice? Maybe there's something better we could pick. The celery? That's great! That's a leafy green vegetable, and that's perfect for helping you guys build strong muscles and bones, especially at your age. So now that we've got our celery placed in the vegetables category, I'm going to take some time to let you guys know just how much vegetables you need. So, for your guys' age, ages 4 to 8, the USDA recommends that you guys get 2.5 cups from the vegetable group. And as we've already seen, celery is a vegetable. And we'll say that each one represents 1 cup of vegetables. So we need 1 more cup, right? Let's pick another vegetable. We've already got our leafy greens. Maybe we should go for a root vegetable like a carrot or a potato. But stay away from those French fries. Too many of those can leave you feeling sluggish and slow. And that's a no-go if you're trying to outdo villains. So let's make a healthy swap. Instead of the French fries, we'll have a potato. A potato is a great vegetable choice. It contains lots of starchy carbohydrates, which can help fuel you to be the best you can be. So let's get that potato up there on our plate. What do you say? All right, now that we've got our vegetable servings all served up on our plate, let's jump over to the other side and see if we can get some protein. Does anybody know what protein is? No? Well, don't worry. Spidey's gonna let you know. Protein is the stuff that helps you build strong muscles. And it helps you build all of the blocks you need to be the best superhero you can be. What do you guys think is a protein up on this board? Don't worry. If you get it wrong the first time, I'll help you out the second time. The donuts? No! Donuts are more of a grain. And they're not really the kind of whole wheat grain that we want either. But let's put a pin in that and come back after we're done with this protein. So if you want a little bit of help, proteins are any kind of meats, whether it comes from a cow or a chicken or a pig. But don't get confused, because there are several different kinds of meats. Not all protein is the same. You want to pick things that are lean, such as chicken or lean beef. So let's see. Do you guys see any chicken up here? Over there? That's right. That's a chicken leg. That's a perfect source of protein. So the USDA recommends on your plate that you should have about 5 ounces to 5.5 ounces of protein. Now remember, we chose a chicken leg, but there's thousands of different kinds of proteins. All right, now let's focus on the grains here. Grains should be something that you guys are a little bit familiar with, especially if you're eating breakfast every day before you go to school. Everyone knows a kid's favorite breakfast is a big bowl of Frosted Flakes. But I really think you guys should make the change over to Spider-Rose. Grains are foods that are made out of any kind of cereal grain, such as wheat or barley or oats. You guys might be familiar with oats too, because I know I loved a big bowl of oatmeal when I was going to school. So let's take some time and look at our foods up here and see which ones fall into the grains category. What's that? The donuts? Well, you're right. Donuts technically would be a grain. They are made from wheat, but they would be what we call a refined grain. There are 2 types of grains. You have whole wheat or refined. Refined is normally processed more in a factory, and it can take away a lot of the nutrients that come in the whole wheat version of the food. So the healthiest choice is always to pick a whole wheat version. So let's see if we can find something like that on our board. What's that? The fruit oatmeal? Well, that would be perfect. So let's get that on our board. So some things that we can put into the grain category on our plate are things like sliced bread or ready-to-eat cereal, like we have on our board with these berry flakes, or even cooked rice or pasta. We decided to pick some oatmeal, and that's a great healthy choice. What are some other healthy choices so we can make our 2 cups on our grains plate? What's that? The cornflakes? Well, that's perfect. That's made with the cereal grain, and it's perfectly healthy. What a great choice, guys! Now that we've gone through all of the grains, vegetables, and protein, let's take a look at the sweeter side of things with our fruits. Fruits are kind of similar to vegetables, but normally they have a bit more sugar in them, and they're sweeter than vegetables. So the USDA recommends that you have just a little bit less fruits than you do vegetables. So let's see. Do you guys know if there are any fruits up here? What's that? The apple? Why, that's perfect! And that's one of my favorite foods. The USDA recommends that children ages 4 to 8 get about 2 cups of fruits on their plate. Now let's move on to our final category on our plate, dairy. Does anybody know what dairy is? That's right! It comes from a cow, the milk. Any dairy is a type of milk product made from cow's milk. Now, knowing that, do you guys see anything that we could put in that category on the board? You're right. We should go with the whole milk. Let's put that on there. Now, I've got to run. I've got a few things that I got to deal with. I think Doc Ock broke back out, and Harry Osborn's calling my cell. So, I know a few of you have some questions, so I took some in a box, and I decided to leave them for Jake. I don't know where he is, but when he gets back, he's going to answer these questions. Alright, guys? And remember, if you want to be a super dude, you gotta pick super foods. What's this? To S-Man from Washington Elementary. Did Spider-Man already come by? Oh, man. Oh, my teacher's gonna kill me. Oh, if she knows Spider-Man gave that presentation without me, I better hurry up and get to the question portion, huh? Here we have a little kid asking how many vegetables are needed. Huh. Well, the amount of vegetables that you need actually varies depending on how old you are, whether you're a boy or girl. So, generally, the rule is to stay between 1 and 3 cups a day. How much food from the dairy group is needed daily? You want to stick between 2.5 and 3 cups of dairy. How many grain foods are needed daily? Well, like most nutrients, the amount of grains that you need daily depends on your age, whether you're a boy or a girl, and how much exercise you do. So the amount varies most of the time between 3 and 8 ounces. But as a rule of thumb, you should want to make sure that your grains are at least more than half whole grain.